Pretty make George Kittle in the last month of the season. I'm gonna go ahead and guess it was pretty nice. The Cyhawk connection between the two of them paid off in a big way. I'm gonna guess on and off the field. In terms of the Steelers, we saw a different thing down the stretch here for Pittsburgh. If a couple things go their way on Sunday, they're in the playoffs. Obviously, not the kind of end they wanted to have. But they were still left for dead for the majority of this season. And I mean, Jarrett, we've talked about this coming into the year, the middle of this year, and how much just pain this offense was causing Steelers fans over the first half of the season. But then things flipped. Kenny Pickett, a good part of that, also just getting healthy and having some big time playmakers. Warren as a third down back was awesome, and they found something big there going into next year. So it just does not have to only be Najee Harris, but what changed for you with Kenny Pickett down the stretch, Jarrett?
Truthfully, I don't think much really changed with the offense. The offense has still largely been not great. In terms of what helped them the most, I think getting TJ Watt back helped. When you have the reigning defensive player of the year on that side of the ball, that's always going to make a difference. I think also playing a lot of bad teams helped. They played the Colts, they played the Falcons.
Hold on. That's 2023 offseason champ Atlanta Falcons with $82 million to spend. We'll get to them.
Yeah, they played Marcus Mariota. Har har. They played a bad Ravens team twice. Now, obviously, they lost the first matchup, but Mitch Trubisky also threw 3 gifts to the Ravens. So Kenny protected the ball a lot better in the second half. I'll give him that. And then, tip of the cap for the 2 game-winning drives that he had in consecutive weeks. I will say, though, the offense still stunk for the first 57 minutes of both of those games. And the Raiders game, the final drive was the first time they reached the red zone against one of the league's worst defenses. So
why is that? Why have they struggled to do that?
Because Matt Canada, and it looks like there's a decent chance he might be back, and I hope to God that's not true. But we'll see on that. But look, like I said, kudos to Kenny Pickett for leading those drives. He's still not, how do I want to put this? He showed improvement. There's no denying that. I don't think that Matt Verderam made a very good point on my show, saying that we need to stop proclaiming people as, oh my goodness, he's him, after one good drive, one good play, because then that sets up unrealistic expectations. And then when those expectations aren't met, then everybody's like, oh, I guess we were wrong. He's not good. Like, there has to be a happy medium. Kenny Pickett made his 3 best throws as a Steeler on that final drive against the Ravens, and the dart to Najee Harris with a window this big, fantastic. However, there's still the first 55 minutes of the game where the offense looked god-awful. He took a lot of bad sacks, made a lot of not good plays. And look, he's a rookie. I understand that. But people need to calm down on, oh, he's him. Like, he threw for 160 yards. Let's calm down. So I think getting a real offensive coordinator in there, like I've said this for the last 2 months, if Tomlin is legitimate about wanting to win and take this team to the playoffs and progressing Kenny Pickett, go get Frank Reich. Get Frank Reich, hire from outside the organization for once in your career. The last time he did that, he brought in Todd Haley, and the offense was fantastic for 3 years. So if you want to capitalize on Kenny Pickett's progression, you want to capitalize on Najee Harris and Jalen Warren becoming a really good 1-2 punch, an offensive line that got better, George Pickens becoming a star in front of our eyes, and a really good tight end in Pat Freiermuth. Go get somebody who's a genius when it comes to play design and getting the best out of quarterbacks that, might be a little bit limited. Like we saw what Frank Reich did with Carson Wentz, and in hindsight, he might deserve a Nobel Prize for that. So if they bring in somebody like Frank Reich and he can get the best out of Kenny Pickett, this is going to be a 10-11 win team next year.
I got to say, it's really, really nice surprise to see the Steelers finally hit on a wide receiver. Right? That's been, a nice little revelation. It must be, a long time coming.
Hey, fingers crossed they take another one and ship a certain one elsewhere for more draft compensation.
Yes, someone that I will never allow on my fantasy football team ever again, because, wow, that was tough.
0 touchdowns after an $18 million a year extension for Deontay Johnson.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I might have auto drafted the first 5 rounds of my fantasy league this year because I am a degenerate. But that wasn't one of my picks. I probably might have still picked him up, especially after that extension. That was